The Nuggets were basically told with 3 games left in the regular season, you guys are dead. You fired the coach, you fired the GM. And the reason why the move was made by Josh Kroenke was because he used a certain word. He wanted to squeeze all of the juice that this team had left, because he said it feels like they have more than what they're showing on the court right now. I'm going to make a move and see if that's the case. And to their credit, in a very evenly matched series against a Clippers team, when it mattered the most, you kick the holy hell out of the Clippers in Game 7. You run them off the floor to the point they waved the white flag with, 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter?
And you kick the holy hell out of them with the best player on earth possibly having his worst playoff game in years.
I would say this is going to sound stupid, what I'm going to say, when I put these things side by side. I think this is one of Jokic's worst overall playoff series that he's played in years.
So he averaged
and he still had 24, 11.5, and 10. But you know what I'm talking about. Jokic's efficiency is like the beacon of his game. And I think his elbow is really bothering him. His touch just isn't there on the rim. But there's a beauty to this. Jokic scored 16 points in a closeout game in Game 7. And Jamal Murray scored 16 points. And you essentially won the game by 30.
You waxed him.
If I had told you, Moj, that late in the third quarter of a Game 7, Nikola Jokic, his stat line read 4 of 13, and he had 5 fouls late in the third quarter. You would say, and I said to you after I gave you that stat line,
the score would be opposite.
Yeah, and I said, what team is up 30? One team is up 30. He is 4 of 13 with 5 fouls. You're going to say Clippers every time.
We did that. We did that for
Every
a
time.
previous game as well. Like, if this is Joker's stat line, then they got smoked. No, they didn't.
You know what? You know what it showed me? Here's what it showed me. All year long, we sat in front of these microphones saying, "Gosh, the Nuggets are a one-man team. Joker needs help. And the Nuggets are a one-man team." You know what Game 7 was for me? It was those other players finally saying, "Screw that. We can play too. And we're going to show you we can play. Christian Brown can play. Aaron Gordon can play. Those are championship pedigree players. Russell Westbrook came off the deep end and he teed himself up. He was that good. Those guys can play. And they proved to all of us that they're not as bad as we think they are."
Well, it's rare that you get all of them playing together. You had 6 different guys getting with at least 15 points. 6 different players, at least 15 points in that game. But Russell Westbrook was the star of the show for Game 7. He was, because it wasn't what he did necessarily offensively. He was good on offense. 5 steals, 5 in that game, stole the soul of the Clippers. And he said it again, what his role on this team is.
My job for this team is to bring my energy, bring my competitive spirit, nature, whatever that may be. I think I told y'all this after Game 1. Excuse my language for my kids at home, but to go in and up. And that's what I did.
That is what he did. Now,
That's what he does.
You know what also is funny about him? He's very self-aware. He was asked about the thought process. I think what's going to end up being one of the cooler moments of this iteration of the Nuggets, when you look back at big playoff moments during these runs for hopefully multiple championships, but you think of Joker over AD, at the end of the shot clock. You think Jamal Murray hit a shot. You think of Paul Millsap staring down one of the Morris twins, forget which one, that it was in the bubble. You have all these different things. Westbrook hanging on the rim to intentionally get a technical, to yell at the Clippers and the crowd and call them soft is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And he said this about that after the game.
You know what? I thought about when I was about to get off the rim backwards, then I just said, nah, I'm going to just stay up here and try to break the rim. And then the tech came and, intensity, just the emotions and everything. And just for me, the fans here are great. Give me a lot of energy, feed off of them. So the moment, just a lot, I think, just for all of us and for the fans, and a sign of relief, that we kind of had the game in hand.
I loved Cause's call on that, too. Got to tech. I don't even care. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
good
the game
stuff.
was so far out of reach. It's anxious moments anytime you're watching the Nuggets with a lead. The Nuggets in the lead is I mean, the lead got up to 16. I'm like, it's still a close game. Lead got to 18. Hey, it's still there. Lead got up to 20. We've been there before. Oh, God. Lead got up to 25. Hey, guys, every possession counts. Lead got up to 26, and Joker got his 5th foul, and I'm about to hide under a table at that point. It's unbelievable how anxious those moments were, even though they were up by a lot and the game felt over. My 2 biggest takeaways from the game, guys, here they are. Because it's hard because my mind is clouded after watching the Avs, but I have to go back and think about it. Number 1, this team is resilient. This team has shown it still has that championship pedigree, and it still is fueled by that. I think David Adelman has 1 foot in the job already after what he's done.
Sure.
I don't know that for a fact. They're going to open it up, obviously. But I think 1 foot in the job because he's done a brilliant job redirecting this team. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, when I saw the 125 Clippers fans that Steve Ballmer shipped in, paid for their tickets, paid for everything, nice gesture by Steve Ballmer, I was irate. Some people thought it was cute and they went home empty. I was irate. And maybe I'll get in trouble for this. Who knows? Maybe this is my last show.
Pretty damn cool.
I don't think we should be allowing that. There are other markets that they don't sell tickets out of state. OKC doesn't sell tickets out of state. They don't allow it. When the Rockies played the Boston Red Sox in the World Series, a lot of those tickets were gobbled up by Boston fans, and it really ticked me off.
How do you
Same with
police
this.
it?
What's that?
How do you police it, though? I guess
Very
somebody's
easy to police. You do a geo-fence, basically, on who buys the tickets. They
But
do
when
it in
there's-
different markets all the time.
But when there's a will, there's a way. How did he buy them all in the same area?
It's embarrassing that he was able to do that. I don't know about you guys, but I was embarrassed by that. And I'll say it. You may not. I will.
Well,
I mean-
I'd never seen it before, so I guess I didn't
Yeah.
know it was possible.
I didn't know that it was possible either.
I didn't realize there wasn't a policy inside the NBA that one team cannot import on their own dime, import their fans to another team's building.
I just don't know how you pull that off, how you orchestrate that. There are season ticket holders in those sections. There are people that already have. I mean, did you just buy everybody out? Is it like did you buy out on a city block? Is it eminent domain? What? How do you do that?
I have no
How do
idea.
you pull that off? I mean, how do you import an entire fan section and move them to the opposing team's gym? I just can't. I can't fathom that happening. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it happened that way.
I
but-
know there's an allotment for the Clippers for them to purchase
For
tickets.
their family members, not
Yeah,
for those people.
exactly. So my point is that, and you'd think that they'd want to have family members there at Game 7 and so on. How do they get extras? I don't
See, but-
I don't know how it happened.
Now you shut them up real quick, and
Yeah,
they
that's
left
the
town.
thing.
Sure.
You you put it on them and did not release at all until there was like 8 minutes left, and then it's funny. You throw the backups in, and then you're like, all right, maybe a couple more minutes from the starters just to make sure that we make the finish line, and it was fine. The difference, though, Adelman mentioned this after the game. When the Nuggets are operating at a championship level as they did 2 years ago, there's one thing that's necessary. We all know Joker's got to play well, Jamal's got to play well, whatever. It's about the others. And take whatever you want to classify as the others, to me, is a big ball of AG, MPJ, Christian Brown, and your bench pieces. Because back 2 years ago, the others involved KCP. The others involved Bruce Brown. The others were the groups of guys that you wouldn't think to be worried about on any given night that did exactly what these guys did on Saturday, which is put together like 15 points and make some plays. Adelman noticed the others and said this.
I thought it reminded me of the year we won it. I thought our rotation in the playoffs, not the regular season that year, held water the whole time and made impact plays defensively. Some of Jamal's shot making tonight through contact and AG, what he did attacking the basket, it allowed us to sit Nikola longer. And then we actually, won those stanzas. And if you do that, and now you're bringing 15 back in, it's an enormous deal. And it also forced them to, to early rotate their guys. And now their guys are being pressed against minutes like we have throughout the series. So, yeah, there's so many factors to that. Saving timeouts if they have to call them and I don't. there's all these little things, these variables that really matter that add up to winning a game like this.
The others. Russell Westbrook plays like that, you get a good shot to win. Christian Brown gives you 20 points, you got a good shot to win. AG dominates the way that he did inside the paint, you got a good shot to win. That stuff matters. And it happened, again, in a series in which I think, just from a strict efficiency standpoint, was Jokic's worst in a while.
Yeah. Let me tell you where the game was won. Everybody's going to point to the third quarter when they went on that huge run. The game was won by the Nuggets early in the second quarter when Joker went to the bench in those ever-important non-Jokic minutes. Peyton Watson comes in, AG moves to the 5. So they didn't go with DJ. They went with AG at the 5. And in those 3.5 minutes in which Joker sat early in the second, they opened that quarter down by 5. And by the time Joker returned, they were up by 3. The Nuggets were +8 in those non-Jokic minutes. Peyton Watson was huge. That was the turn in the game, in my opinion.